Today marks 1 year since the tragic disappearance of Malaysia Airlines flight MH370. While there are still no concrete clues, the search for wreckage and, of course, for answers continues.
More than 48 hours after it disappeared off the radar, investigators are no closer to solving the mystery of the missing Malaysia Airlines plane.
The airline has publicly said it fears the worst.
How does a plane with 239 people on board just disappear?
We have not found any wreckage, no wreckage whatsoever.
It never happens. An airplane does not just drop out of the sky.
The flight from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing departed at 12:41 a.m. At 1:19 a.m, the pilot of MH370 recorded his final message to air traffic control, "Good night, Malaysian 370.
Good night, Malaysian 370.
From that point on, what took place remains a mystery.
They not found anything, but we are extending it further.
A number of bungled media statements and misinformation from Malaysia Airlines and the government then followed.
You don't drip feed information in a crisis, you don't delay it, and you don't deny it. They've even denied statements that were made earlier.
While bringing continued grief and terror for loved ones waiting for answers on the ground.
We are the next of kin. Shouldn't we know first before they go and tell the nation?
Search crews are still scouring the deep blue depths of the Indian Ocean using radars and the latest technology to find any clues. But floating objects and hopes of pings have all led to dead ends. This week the families met the Prime Minister searching for answers.
To you and to all those with loved ones aboard that flight, my pledge is that we are taking every reasonable step to bring your uncertainty to an end.
1 year on, and the search for a jumbo jet that's disappeared somewhere on Earth continues. Yeah, just so baffling. And the question does remain, what really happened on board? There are, of course, a number of theories, including one that the pilot planned the crash, shutting down oxygen inside the cabin before bringing the aircraft down. Ewan Wilson has outlined this idea in the book Good Night, Malaysian 370, the final words that were radioed to air traffic controllers on the night the Boeing 777 disappeared. And I spoke to Ewan a little earlier. Ewan, good morning to you. It's a controversial theory you've come up with for what happened on flight MH370. What exactly do you believe the captain did?
Look, through a process of elimination, we think that Captain Zahari Shah committed mass murder and suicide, and that ultimately that was the result of the disappearance of MH370.
And how did he go about that?
So from our point of view, we believe that Zahari depressurized the aeroplane and chose to force the passengers into a hypoxic state, and the passengers would have fallen unconscious.
And what about the other theories that have emerged out there? Some theories pertaining to the fact that the plane might have landed elsewhere.
We just find no evidence to support that. And tragically, when an event like this occurs, it's great fodder for conspiracy theorists. The Australian Transportation Safety Board have done an amazing job working with Inmarsat to identify basically the route this aircraft took. And from that data, from that very clear data that's been peer reviewed by the London College, we know the aircraft crashed off the coast of Western Australia.
Angus Houston, who has been heading up the search from the Australian point of view, still maintains that he's confident this plane will eventually be found. Do you think it ever will?
Look, I think he's right. I think that eventually the ocean will give up MH370.
And just finally, I suppose from the family's point of view, people might be concerned that your theory is quite damaging to the family of the captain when that's simply what it is. It's a theory. You don't really have conclusive proof as to this, do you?
Yeah, look, and that certainly isn't what we're certainly not intending to try to hurt anybody. What we have done is this. We've gone through a robust process where we've eliminated, I think, all the other possible scenarios. This was not a fire. This was not a missile strike. This clearly was not a mechanical failure. And we know that because the aeroplane flew for some 7 hours after it disappeared. So once you go through that process, I believe that the facts support the theory that this was mass murder-suicide.
Well, let's hope, as you say, that one day we do get a conclusive answer. Ewan, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Interesting to chat.
My pleasure.